Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Normal edition today. I've got some Louie Anderson stuff, some Bob Saget stuff as well. But as I usually do, I'll start with late night. Seth Meyers said President Biden said that his first year in office has been a year of challenges, but he'd rather focus on the positives, like your COVID test. That's a great joke. Jimmy Fallon, when Biden was asked what he's learned, he said being vice president was a hell of a lot more fun. Colbert said it seemed like just yesterday our democracy was being held hostage by a cabal of obstructionists who didn't want every vote counted. Oh, wait, that was yesterday. Fallon, a year ago, Biden pledged to address COVID, the economy, climate change, and racial injustice. And good news, after 12 months of tireless effort, we're all getting 3 free masks. Seth Meyers, Biden held a 1-hour, 51-minute press conference. It was the first thing Americans actually wished Joe Manchin had stopped. Michael Ian Black pointed out the good thing is there aren't that many more people left to die. Louie Anderson talked about President Trump in 2017 and said, just recently, I've been discovering bits I didn't have in me. So people say they're worried about Trump, and they'll say, aren't you worried about Trump? And I say, no, because my dad once kept us up from midnight till 6 a.m. because somebody left the butter out. They always laugh because they understand how absurd it is, but my dad was like that, and he got stuck on things. It's been wonderful fodder for me. This part of my life is about celebrating the people I love in my family, especially even dear old mean dad. I never admitted I left the butter out, by the way. He wanted me to, but I wouldn't do it. Louie talked to the Daily Press about fact jokes. He said, they're not mean to be self-deprecating. They're just circumstantial. I'm big. I don't do them to excuse myself or make fun of myself. I'm just talking about me. People say, Louie, don't do those fact jokes. You should embrace yourself. And I tell them I would embrace myself, but I can't get my arms around me. That's a new one. It just comes from opening my heart up. I wanted to be a politician. I was going to be president. I thought I'd be good at it. I wouldn't get a lot done because I'm lazy, but I'd be good at getting elected. Arizona Central asked Louie in 2019, why do stand-ups always come back to stand-up like they go off and do other things? And then they do stand-up again. Louie said, it's true. I think it's what you know, and you don't need anyone to do it. Nobody can interfere, and it's just that close relationship between you and the audience. And usually when you're doing it, you're working stuff out. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say therapy, but I don't want to say it's not therapy. It's the first love for most of us. Louie, when you were coming along in the 80s, it seemed like there was an arc to a comic's career. Get known, get on Johnny Carson, and then become an actor. Or their shared skills or something? Louie said, commanding on stage is a pure performance. What I think I get out of it is a connection. You know, your fans really love you. When fans really love you, man, that's a great feeling. It's like having a really great family that you're not related to. You get really close to these people for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and you get as close as you can, and then you say goodbye, and no one really wants to leave, you or the audience. Well, some of the audience might want to leave, but you're saying goodbye, and hopefully they're taking something with them that night. I'm definitely taking something with me from the night. From 2017 in the Las Vegas Sun, Louie talking about Las Vegas. It's a big circus. But I say whatever helps bring people to town, go for it. We've got Britney, Celine, Rod Stewart. Everybody's here now. Boys to Men, Backstreet Boys. It's good because everybody can't go to all those shows. 25% of people that come to Vegas 5, 6, 10 times a year, and each time they pick a show, that's their ritual. I know these people. They have a list. When I had a show on the Strip, I was one of the picks. I heard it many times. Hey, Louie, we came to see you instead of Celine, and next time we're coming for her. Vegas is bigger than a circus. It has a mystique of its own, and everybody wants to know what show is new or the most risque, or what restaurant can I go to order something off the menu. There's such a rich history. Who else has a mob museum? And I was trying to find articles about Louie's time hosting Family Feud. I couldn't really find any. As you imagine right now, if you Google Louie Anderson, you get 10,000 obits. But I did find this from Entertainment Weekly. He said he watched Family Feud as a kid. I'd be on the arm of the couch, my dad would be in his chair, my mom would be in the kitchen, we'd all be playing Feud. My dad would go, look at Richard Dawson slobbering all over the women. My mom would go, I think he's nice. You would think he's nice. You know, that kind of thing. He told EW he would overhear arguments during the commercial breaks. I hope you got a ride home, Carl. Chicken, what a dumb answer, Carl. All right, Pete Davidson. If you thought Pete Davidson looked a little extra airbrushed, should I bust out half-assed Jeff Foxworthy? I think so. If you thought Pete Davidson looked a little airbrushed on New Year's Eve, you were not wrong. As it turns out, Pete Davidson got a spray tan before taking the stage. This from Us Magazine. Pete revealed this the other night at the Patrice O'Neal comedy benefit concert that got very little pickup in the media. He said he was told to get a tanning treatment because he's really white and a little extra color would help him look not so bad on camera. He admitted he didn't actually like the whole hosting thing. He found the ordeal to be pretty embarrassing. Some thought he was dapperly dressed. Others felt that his bleach blonde hair and pale complexion made him look like Beetlejuice. One fan tweeted, "Still lobbying for Pete Davidson to play young Beetlejuice. Pete Davidson looks like a millennial Beetlejuice." SNL shot down that rumor. Remember earlier in the week, there was a rumor that Pete Davidson was missing rehearsals because he was a total diva and hanging out with Kim Kardashian? An NBC spokesperson released a statement saying no rehearsals have been missed, adding, "It's not true." Now, I can't tell you if Pete Davidson was on SNL last night because I recorded this at 12:11 p.m. on Saturday. If you'd like to participate in the show, I set up a voicemail account. You go to podinbox.com/dailycomedynews and you can leave a voicemail. You can do that right from your phone. I'll use your voicemail in the show. Podinbox.com/dailycomedynews. The National Comedy Center and American Jazz Museum have a wager on tonight's Bills-Chiefs game. All right, before I read you the story, it's Buffalo and Kansas City. We should probably bet buffalo wings versus some sort of Kansas City barbecue. Isn't that what you would do? Right? Yes? Well, the National Comedy Center and American Jazz Museum, those entertainers, have decided if the Chiefs win, Kansas City residents can enjoy the National Comedy Center for free. And if the Bills win, Western New York residents can enjoy the American Jazz Museum for free. Okay, let's pull that apart. So if the Chiefs win, and I am a Kansas City resident, I can go to Jamestown, New York, which is in the middle of nowhere, and go to the Comedy Museum for free. Gee, thanks, guys. Or if you're from Buffalo, you can make your way to Kansas City and go to the American Jazz Museum for free. Yeah, you don't want to just do wings versus barbecue food? But wait, there's more. Gary Hahn is the director of communications at the National Comedy Center, and he said, "In addition to admission, we're going to have a little bit of fun on social." Oh, okay, all right, some fun. If the Bills win, the executive director of the American Jazz Museum is going to sing the Bills fight song, a kind of jazzy version of that. And they're going to post it online. Oh, I can't wait. If Kansas City were to win, we at the National Comedy Center will post some stand-up comedy about Buffalo. What? Staff of the winning museum will be treated to the other region's most beloved dining delicacy. Finally, the jazz guys will get buffalo wings and the comedy guys will get barbecue. Just do that. All right, I got a fun story at the end. I know today's a lot about death. Kelly Rizzo, the wife of Bob Saget, shared that their final communications were filled with love. Kelly said, "I think I said, 'I love you dearly,' and he said, 'I love you endlessly.' And then I said, 'I can't wait to see you tomorrow.'" When she last spoke to Bob on the phone, he was just on his way home or back to his hotel, and he was telling me what a wonderful show he had and how it was so amazing. He was happy and just loving what he did. It made him so happy to bring laughter to people. Kelly Rizzo talked about how her husband would rush back after shows. He'd go to sleep at 2 a.m., wake up at 4 a.m. just so he could be on a 6 a.m. flight to come home. He valued every single second we had together. That's why this is so heartbreaking. The one silver lining from this is the incredible outpouring of love and support, not only from everybody that loved Bob, but also his friends and family. I don't know how else I'd be getting through this right now. Gilbert Gottfried shared with Vulture, "I remember when the Aristocrats came out, people would say, 'Can you believe Bob Saget is talking that way?' Nobody who knew him was in any way surprised. That's the way our conversations always were, out and out filthy. On our podcast, it would start like a typical interview, and he would immediately veer off into something totally perverted. There was nothing that was too far. There was a friendly competition in our conversations. We'd always try to outdo each other. For a while, we were sending each other emails, and they were getting more and more crazy, and we thought, this would make a great book. We were looking forward to that." Told his manager, and his manager read the emails and said in no uncertain words, "No, you are not sharing this with the public." Gilbert added, "Since I heard he died, in my head, I still kind of think I should call Bob and talk to him about this. I'm pretty certain if there was a way to talk to him now, he'd be making some really poor taste jokes about his own death." Patton Oswalt said, "Everybody said Bob was so dark, he was so raunchy, but it was never from a mean-spirited place. It was from a giggly, I can't believe we get to do this stuff kind of place. I know people came to see him because they thought, he's that wonderful man we watch on TV. And I'm sure they were initially shocked, but it was hard to be offended by him because he was so clearly having a goofy time up there. It was not coming from a place of personal angst, but from a place of just having fun. When you'd meet him personally, he was still that same friendly, goofy, upbeat energy. He wasn't telling dirty jokes, although he could, especially if he was with other comedians. He was just a very nice guy." And from Vancouver is awesome, your home for comedy news. Fans of local politics might have noticed an awkward moment during a recent public hearing for the city of Vancouver, okay? Councilperson Pete Fry asked for the first speaker to start. The name of the first speaker? Jackin Daddyoff. Councilperson Pete Fry called on the speaker. Speaker number one, Jackin Daddyoff. The person who responded isn't legally named Jackin Daddyoff. He is Brendan Washburn, a local comedian who's taken to pranks like this one because a lot of the comedy clubs are closed. Washburn, as Daddyoff, went on a 3-minute rant saying, "I can't have this rezoning go ahead. There'll be traffic and noise. It'll disrupt my vibe. I have a bear inside me, and I need the discipline of martial arts to keep him at bay. I gotta keep the bear tamed. Otherwise, he's gonna go searching for honey. He's gonna go searching, and he's gonna find it." Councilperson Melissa DeGenova then went on to ask him several questions about the project and its impact on him. Washburn thought, "I thought it was funny that somebody who was unvaccinated could tell jokes at council, but not at a bar." And that's your comedy news for today. Follow this show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, wherever you get your shows. See you tomorrow.